This is a microwave oven. These are potato chips. This is a tea bag. This is a can of fart spray. Well, this is Play-Doh. And all these things are quite possibly the result of an accident. In this video, we gonna now find out just how many of the things we use every single day were invented accidentally. How many others were developed for sinister reasons? And which ones are just plain weird? Let's begin. Microwave ovens were invented accidentally by a scientist named Percy Spencer while he was testing a magnetron, a device that produces electromagnetic waves for radar systems. One day, while testing the magnetron, a candy bar in Percy's pocket melted. He then tested it with some popcorn and a hot dog, and soon enough he had invented the microwave. Now, do you know what's also invented accidentally? Going to the doctor. All you need to do is stay healthy. Some injuries can't be helped, but for 90% of the rest, you could avoid them by taking care of yourself. That means eating clean, getting exercise, and being proactive about your health. They have the tools you need to track your stats, connect with professionals, and get healthy with fun challenges. And now back to our video. Velcro? Remember that? It's a synthetic burr fastener consisting of nylon hooks that grip onto looped fabric. But did you know that the person who invented it got the inspiration while looking at a pine cone? George de Maistre was the inventor of Velcro, and he found that after a walk in the woods, he had burrs stuck to his clothes. After studying the burrs, he had the idea of creating a synthetic version. A year later, he had invented Velcro. But Velcro wasn't the only thing that was invented thanks to nature. For instance, popsicles were invented accidentally by an 11-year-old Italian immigrant named Frank Epperson. One day, he left a glass of soda water outside during the winter. Overnight, the liquid froze, and the next morning, he pulled a popsicle out of the glass. He loved it so much that he went into the business of selling popsicles. And eventually, his company became one of the largest snack companies in the United States. But let's move on to another invention that may shock you, but is definitely a lifesaver: airbags. Airbags were invented in the early 1970s by a Swedish engineer named Bolin, who worked for Volvo. At the time, cars were becoming larger and heavier, but safety features were lacking. So Bolin designed an airbag that would inflate in less than 40 milliseconds in the event of a collision, protecting the driver. He also designed it to deflate quickly so that it wouldn't hinder the driver in any way. His design was so effective that other manufacturers began adopting it. Today, airbags are standard in almost every new vehicle. Another invention that has saved lives is the seat belt. Seat belts were invented by a Swedish engineer named Bolin. He was inspired by the safety harnesses used in aircraft and thought they could be adapted for use in cars. However, the early seat belts were uncomfortable and inconvenient, and it took several years of refinements before they became popular. But today, seat belts are credited with saving thousands of lives every year. But let's move on to an invention that has made us lazy: the remote control. The first remote control was invented by an American inventor named Nikola Tesla. He called it a wireless telegraph, and it allowed him to control the movement of a boat from a distance. However, it wasn't until 1950 that the first TV remote control was invented by Zenith Radio Corporation. It was a bulky device that required a cord to be plugged into the television set, but it could change channels and adjust the volume. Soon after, other companies began producing remotes. And today we have sophisticated remotes that can control everything from our TVs to our air conditioners. But let's move on to something a little more bizarre: the banana. Okay, seriously, the banana wasn't invented. It grows naturally. But bananas as we know them today didn't always exist. In fact, the modern banana was created by scientists at the end of the 19th century. They selectively bred bananas for size, taste, and ease of peeling. And they created the Cavendish banana, which is the type of banana that we eat today. Speaking of food, let's move on to something we all enjoy: potato chips. The story of the potato chip is a bit murky, but most food historians agree that it was invented by a chef named George Crumb. In 1853, Crumb was a chef at Moon's Lake House in Saratoga Springs, New York. One day, a customer sent his French fries back to the kitchen because he wanted them thinner. So Crumb cut the potatoes extremely thin and fried them. He then sprinkled them with salt and served them up. The customer loved them, and soon everyone was asking for George's famous fried potatoes. Not long after, commercial potato chip companies began popping up all over the place. And today, potato chips are a multi-billion-dollar industry. Another food item that wasn't exactly invented, but was improved upon by accident was tea. Tea was discovered in China around 2700 BC, but it didn't become popular in the West until the mid-19th century. That's when Thomas Sullivan, an Irish immigrant living in New York, began selling tea in pre-packaged bags. People loved the convenience of tea bags, and soon they became all the rage. Now let's move on to something we all use every day: toilet paper. Toilet paper was invented by a man named Joseph Gayety. He was a businessman who had a lot of experience in the paper industry. He noticed that people were using all kinds of materials to wipe themselves after using the toilet, and he thought there had to be a better solution. So he began experimenting with different types of paper, and eventually came up with a soft, durable material that was perfect for the job. He sold the toilet paper in rolls or individual sheets, and it was an instant hit. Moving on, we have an invention that is both strange and useful: the trampoline. The trampoline was invented by a man named George Nissen. He was a former circus performer who specialized in high diving. While performing one day, Nissen slipped and fell, and he realized there had to be a better way to train for high diving. So he invented the trampoline, which consisted of a spring-loaded platform and a canvas. This made it easier for divers to practice their jumps and flips. And soon enough, the trampoline became popular as a backyard plaything. Okay, let's move on to an invention that is both strange and mysterious: Area 51. Now listen, we don't know who invented this or how. In fact, we don't even know if it was invented or if it's even real. But we do know that Area 51 is a highly classified United States Air Force facility located within the Nevada Test and Training Range. It's believed that the base is used to develop and test new aircraft and weapon systems. But this is all top secret, and we may never know the truth about Area 51. But let's move on to an invention that is both strange and gross: fart spray. Yes, it's real. And yes, it was invented accidentally. Fart spray was invented by a woman named Patricia Ferris. She was a chemist who was trying to develop a new perfume. But her experiment went awry, and she ended up with a product that smelled like farts. She thought it was hilarious and marketed the product as fart spray. And believe it or not, it's now a multi-million-dollar industry. Finally, let's move on to one of the strangest inventions ever: Play-Doh. Play-Doh was invented by a man named Noah McVicker. He was a pharmacist who was trying to come up with a new product to sell in his store. He was experimenting with different types of clay when he came up with a substance that was soft, pliable, and non-toxic. He called it Play-Doh and sold it as a wallpaper cleaner. But a teacher saw the product and thought it would be great for arts and crafts. So she bought some and took it to her classroom. The kids loved it, and soon Play-Doh became a household name. So there you have it, some of the most surprising origins of everyday inventions. From microwaves to fart spray, there's no telling what crazy things we'll come up with next. So what do you think? Which invention surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.